What up, though? This your boy Cuzin P, and you're tuned in to the
Spot.
spot where the ears meet the street.
Here with the players, the best. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you. Damn, I don't even know. I gotta get the shit where your ear eat. What is it? Where your ears meet the street. Where your ear meet the street. The spot where your ear meet the street.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Alaska with The Spot, where the ears meet the streets. And we're going to get right into it. All right, let's go. Can you introduce yourself and tell people a little bit about who you are outside of being a business owner?
My name is Juwan Hurd. I own Blue Q, and I'm also a football coach at a high school and a teacher by day.
Oh, wow. What subject?
History and health.
Ooh, a history buff.
I am.
I love that. Did you ever watch Drunk History?
I did.
Oh my God, we need to do that one day.
Absolutely.
Oh my.
I want to show it to the kids, but I think that'll get me in trouble.
Yeah,
so.
you probably couldn't. But
Yeah.
maybe you should find like an okay one.
Yeah.
Did you watch the one about what is it? It's a vegetable. The one that you guys. What is that vegetable? It's like looks like a cone. Somebody tell me.
Carrot?
No, not a carrot. It's not a Brussels sprout, but it smells like a Brussels sprout.
Asparagus?
Yeah. See?
Yes.
Did you watch one?
I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, it's so cool.
I gotta check it
out. Like the Italian mafia controlled it.
Yeah.
And it was like their contraband.
Right. Well, that show is based on true facts.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't believe in that, but I do. 'Cause they controlled a lot.
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What would your drink be if you did it?
My drink?
If you did, yeah, Drunk History. If you were.
I'm a whiskey person, so probably Basil Hayden.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm a tequila girl. Anything
There
with
you go.
tequila, yeah. Just straight though. I like a
Patron
straight
used to be
shot.
my drink, but whiskey's a little bit more relaxing. So
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, Patron's never been mine. I'm like a Casamigos.
Oh, there you go.
Don
Julio.
kind
Okay.
of girl, you know.
All right.
All right. And then a football coach. How long have you been a football coach?
35 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So did you play yourself?
I did.
Awesome. Out here?
I played high school in SoCal and played collegiately in Indiana.
Wow. What position?
Running back.
Oh, you fast.
I used to be.
Okay, I love that. I'm an athlete, so when I
Okay.
hear sports, I'm like, tell me all about it.
Right.
What inspired you to get into the nightlife industry in the first place?
My first job was in the nightlife. I mean, my cousins owned a bar down in SoCal, and I went in there and at 16 years old, and I was the person that just cleaned everything.
Okay.
And I was supposed to be out of there by 9 o'clock, but I was hard-headed, and I always stuck around to see kind of the nightlife and see what it was about. And I worked there for about 2 or 3 years, and then just kind of worked my way up through the ranks. Went from a cleaning person to working in the kitchen to a bouncer to manager to general manager, and then became involved in ownership with some of those clubs.
That's awesome. Do you have a kitchen at Blue Q?
We do. We have a small kitchen. We have to. I mean, I'm not pro kitchen.
Yeah.
But we have to due to the liquor license. So we do have a small kitchen.
Oh, I didn't know that was a requirement.
It is. If you have a 47 liquor license, you're classified as a restaurant. If you have a 48, you're classified as a nightclub.
Oh, I see.
So you don't have to sell it. I mean, you're selling alcohol either way, so you would think it wouldn't really matter, but it's the law, so we follow it.
The legality of the stuff.
Exactly.
So we just heard about how your journey started as in the industry, but what were the steps that led you to become a Blue Q owner?
As I said, I owned a couple bars down in SoCal, and I got out of it for a while because my kids were getting to an age, and after we sold our bar down in SoCal, I worked for House of Blues. I was the regional director of operations for several years, and I was flying from Vegas to Orlando to back to LA and living out of a suitcase when you're, having kids. I mean, my kids were toddlers at the time. I think the oldest was 6 and my middle was like 3 and my youngest was just born.
Oh, wow. Bless your wife.
And I told yeah, exactly. And I just told her, all money's not good money, and I didn't like it. House of Blues was, well, we'll give you a bonus, we'll give you this, we'll give you that, and
we need you.
And I got tired of living out of a suitcase. And right when Katrina hit, we had just opened the New Orleans venue, and it was a lot mentally. It just took a toll because you're seeing all the devastation and.
Right.
What can we do? I see people back in Vegas partying and doing their thing, and it just kind of hit me to the point where it's like, you know what? I can't do this no more. I don't want to do it anymore. It's just not fun. And kind of ventured back into teaching, and teaching, you're home by 4 o'clock.
Right.
And that's kind of what I wanted to do.
Completely two different lives. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was weird because even when I was coaching football back in the 90s, when I left college, my head football coach, when I played, was telling me to become a teacher. But back then, teachers were making like $20,000 a year, $25,000 a year, and I was making more than that working at a nightclub, just being a manager, you know. And I'm just like, teaching's not going to be for me. And you know, ironically, I talked my wife into becoming a teacher because she has a marketing degree, and she was like, I need to find something where I can be home with the kids at night. And I'm like, teacher, and she's like, me a teacher? I'm like, try it. And she loved it. She's been doing it for, I think, 20-something years now, but she's an assistant principal. So.
Oh, I was going to ask. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Hey.
great. Yeah.
Pocket.
6'7".
6'7".
See, we're hip guys.
We are.
Or what is it? I don't know. I don't know what it is. We got the Raz.
We do.
The Riz. Look, I don't even know.
We got that Riz.
Yes. What were some of your biggest challenges you faced early on trying to break into that space, the Blue Q space?
The first thing, Sacramento's different.
Yes.
It is a lot of speed bumps and obstacles. The first thing that I wasn't aware of when we purchased it is that the city of Sacramento requires you to have an entertainment permit. And you have to qualify. They got to come and inspect the building. You got to, go through a background. I mean, it's a lot. I think it's great how they do it, but there's just so many hoops and it's only valid for 2 years, and then you got to reapply for it. I'm more accustomed to you apply for a conditional use permit and you can do whatever you want. You can do day parties, night parties. Here, it's like you have to put in the time that you're going to operate live or entertainment. It doesn't need to be live. And you can only operate entertainment within that realm. So if you put down, we're going to be entertaining clients from 6 o'clock until 1 a.m., DJ has to stop at 1 o'clock in the morning, and he can't start before 6. That was challenging. And, knock on wood, we haven't had any problems. We adhere to it. But it's just, we weren't ready for that. And, of course, there's a lot of meetings you have to go to, and being a teacher by day, it's just they want to meet at 2 o'clock. I'm still in the classroom at 2. My wife is as well. So that was probably one of the biggest challenges.
And why do you think that it's so hard to do that here in Sacramento? Why do you think they have all those, hoops to go through?
You know what? I haven't found that out yet. I know that they want to regulate certain things, and I'm not mad at it.
Right.
But I think what they should do is, because there's bars opening up all the time, and there's bars closing all the time.
Right.
The good thing with Blue Q is it's been there for a while, and I know, prior to us buying it, there was maybe not a positive history with Blue Q. But the one thing that we're not going to do is kind of go against the grain, because I'm not trying to be a teacher on the news, sacrificing my teacher credentials. I'm licensed by the state with not just the teaching credential area, but also alcohol beverage control. So I think they need to vet their people who they're allowing to get entertainment permits, as opposed to just saying, well, it costs this and this is what we're going to do. And because someone who comes in with 30 plus years experience, I mean, I'm not about the riffraff. I'm not going to allow just anyone to come in and promote and do what they want to do to cause problems for not just the city, but our neighbors as well.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. What was there a moment where you felt like, okay, this is really happening?
When we closed escrow. You asked earlier what got us into it. We used to own rental properties.
Oh, okay.
And during COVID, it was, because we want to invest money. We got 3 kids and grandkids coming soon.
Ooh, congratulations.
Well, thank you. We wanted to leave something for them.
Legacy.
Yeah, legacy. And the rental properties became a hassle because, especially during COVID, nobody wanted to pay rent. And in Indiana, things are a little different because their utilities is tied into their rent. So people were like, well, we're not going to pay our rent. We're not going to pay the utilities. I'm stuck paying the utilities. And, hey, it's tough times. I understand it. You can't pay your rent. Just pick up the phone. Hey, things are tough. We're not working. I get that. But when it goes on and on and on and on and on, and now I'm paying, you're a grown man and I'm paying your utilities, I have a problem with that. So, and I think the few tenants that we had believed, hey, you know what? This guy's in California. He's not going to, I would hop on a plane.
Oh, I believe
and
it.
go out there and, kick down a door and say, you got 12 hours to get out. And it just became way too much.
Yeah.
And when we sold the properties, when we moved north to Northern California, my wife was like, we got to invest in something. So, I mean, we looked at everything from, there was a sandwich shop in Rockland, I think, or Granite Bay we were looking into. And I'm just like, I don't know anything about that, but and then we started looking at bars because I told her bars is what I know.
Yeah.
And it was Blue Q and a couple other ones. And went down, did some due diligence, peeked it out a couple times, and it had some potential. And I think what drew my attention to Blue Q is the longevity. I mean, it's been there for 30 years,
Yes.
and it's a historical place. I mean, it's won some historical awards throughout the years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so once that escrow closed, that's when the reality set in, like, this is real.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how long have you been the owner of Blue Q?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I heard you say you saw the potential. So you weren't turning your back on, you weren't listening to the old stories of it. You said, this is something that I can see that I can turn around.
I did, because when I walked into the Blue Q, it was dated, I mean, and we're still doing some transformations in the place, but the flooring was bad. It just had old pub style seating. I mean, my vision of Blue Q was to make it more of an ultra lounge than more of a sports bar.
I like that.
There's no ultra lounges in Sacramento, but you go to Vegas, it's ultra lounge. It's chic. It's it's vibey, and that's kind of what we wanted to do with Blue Q.
I love that.
Yeah.
Are you still planning on doing that?
Oh yeah, we've added VIP booths in there now, so it's
Ooh.
not just tables. And we're probably going to add about 9 more booths in there at
Okay.
some point. Got rid of some of the pool tables and dart boards because nobody was playing them.
Yeah.
It was just eating up electricity, and I'm like, I can make more money in a booth in a month than I can with this dartboard being here for a year.
I can't wait to go. I think it's been like a year and a half, maybe pushing 2 years
Okay.
since I've been. So
Oh, you got to come check it out.
Yeah. I'm excited.
You'll be
And-
shocked by the changes.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
And you do Western Wednesdays, right?
It's line dancing. Yeah,
Line dancing?
Yeah, Knights in the Valley come in and they teach line dancing, and it is such a positive vibe. I mean, everybody's having a great time, and I haven't made it down there yet because I'm in school and it's just a long week.
Right.
But I'm probably going to be there this Wednesday. But from where it started after about 6 weeks to where it's at now, it is. I mean, everybody's showing up. It's not just an urban feel. I mean, we got every diverse nationality coming out there line dancing, and it's fun.
And line dancing is becoming the new like salsa dancing. I salsa
Exactly.
dance, and it's such a a community sport
Right.
or dance. And I'm seeing that in the line dancing, and I've been searching for a place to go line dancing. And so
You should check it out.
if
Yeah.
you're going Wednesday, I'll be there.
Yeah,
I promise
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Are you gonna dance?
I might get out there. She comes on Friday too, just to hang out, and she's
Okay.
always getting me to. But like, I'm so busy with running around because I'm the manager, so I'm just running around doing things. But I keep telling her I'm going to do it one day.
I love
I'm gonna
that.
do it, yeah.
Does your wife come in and help as well?
Not as much anymore. When we first took over, she did. I think she kind of got. She's not a night person. I mean, if it were up to
makes
her,
sense.
she'd be in bed by 8 o'clock every night because
Yeah.
she's up early. I got really sick at the beginning of the year last year. I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. So she
you
came. I'm so far so. Where's my wood? So far so good.
Good.
Went in for a checkup and still cancer free. So
Great. I love that.
she had to step in, and she's never ran a nightclub or a bar or a restaurant for that matter. But she did a great job. I mean, she was the one who worked with the city and had a plan in place to try to turn that negative look on Blue Q around, and she's the one that saved it. So,
I love that.
yeah,
What a great pair.
absolutely.
That's really good.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
how long have you guys been together?
25 years.
25 years.
Yeah, 25
That's
years.
great.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. What does a typical night look like for you as a nightclub owner?
Typical night in operations while I'm there, or just okay. Well, I mean, I am there. I mean, first and foremost, I do inventory during the day. I don't like to do it at night because people are all over the place. But there's always something that comes about during the night, right? So, like, even when I go in there saying, you know what, I'm going to do this. This is my plan to do this from 6 o'clock until 7. There's always a knock on the door. Hey, we need this, or I got to help somebody tap a cake. I'm not just an owner that says figure it out. I mean, I'm very hands-on. I'll
Right.
plunge a toilet. I'll mop a floor,
I
and
love that.
and 'cause I feel you got to lead by example. If the employees see you doing something, they're going to jump in and take pride and try to do it themselves. But it is nonstop. I mean, you're dealing with obviously intoxicated people who want to come into the bar, and then they always ask to speak to the manager, which happens to be me. And then someone will say, "Well, that's the owner. He can do what he wants." And I'm not going to violate the law, but just
Right.
because you just left the bar down the street and you're intoxicated.
You're right. I can do what I want, but I'm going to be a law-abiding citizen.
Exactly. I mean, and it putting a lot of fires out, dealing. I mean, every once in a while it's funny because it's an ongoing joke. The internet will go out. Well, that operates our POS system. So then we got to stop everything and try to work on that. But a lot of it is just, being a people person and talking to, guests and making sure they're having a good time and making sure they want to come back.
Yeah, you seem like a very easygoing, like people person. So
I try to be.
Yeah.
I try to be.
How do you not allow it to affect you, since you are a father, soon to be grandpa, a coach, a teacher, and a nightclub owner? How do you keep the stress at bay? Because you seem pretty chill.
It's a lot, you know. I mean, especially when you first take over, you know, everyone who buys a nightclub or bar, the first thing they do is they terminate everybody,
Right.
so they can bring in their own staff, because unfortunately you're inheriting bad habits when you
Exactly.
purchase a place. I elected not to do that because some of these employees have been there for quite some time, and it's, you know, when they're used to a certain mode, you know, of kind of like where they're used to doing, but my standards are up here, and I know what, like, inventory, like, this place was never doing inventory,
Right.
and it's like, how can you not do inventory? You got to be able to track your thing. So a lot of systems were put in place that they weren't accustomed to, and it was a struggle.
Yeah.
A lot of pushback, and it was obviously causing stress at home, because it's like, this is what we need to do, and my wife was like, okay, well, how do we do this, and how do we get them on board? And, you know, a lot of staff meetings, a lot of encouragement saying it's going to increase, things are going to get better. But leaving, especially when we first bought the bar, for the first 2 months, I was teaching in the daytime. True story. I was teaching in the daytime. Go to football practice after school for 2 or 3 hours. Go straight to the bar until it closed. Get out of there at 3 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning. Drive home, which is about 45 minutes away to an hour away.
Wow.
Sleep for 2 or 3 hours. Wake up and repeat. And
Wow.
it was, you know, I keep telling people that's what probably gave me cancer. I don't know.
And it could,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
I would say this to your team: give gratitude to this guy, because I've been in many takeovers, and your compassion and grace is amazing. And it's,
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's hard for everybody, but for you to be understanding and graceful, I hope that your team, you know, gives you grace for that, because it takes a lot for a person to be like, you know, these were done incorrectly, and I'm going to work with you, versus just throwing you out. That, yeah.
You know, absolutely. And I think everybody deserves an opportunity to learn and grow. And, you know, my wife is like the ultimate rule follower. You know, she is by the book, front to back. She's not going to stray from it. And I'm more of kind of like, I'll bend a little bit, but I'm not going to break. But when it comes to a nightclub and bar, I don't want to say I know everything, but I know a lot.
Right.
You know, I mean, I've written training manuals for House of Blues by myself, you know. Wow. And to this day, it's still there. That was 20-something years ago. So I think the changes caused a lot of problems, but we're in a good spot now.
Good. What are some things people don't realize about running a nightclub behind the scenes?
I think the dealings with the city, the police department, fire department, you know, I think the average person says, I'm going to open up a nightclub and it's going to make a lot of money. It doesn't always do that. You know, you have bad times. We can't predict what's going to happen. Right. Not trying to get into a political conversation here, but when current president came in, you know, he put the tariffs on. Tequila shot up about $8 a bottle. So, you know, how do you pay that and then not raise your prices, because the customers don't care?
Right.
You know, they want to go out there and have a good time. But I mean, we took a hit for about 6-7 months because I didn't want to raise the prices.
Right.
And I think we raised the prices for the first time probably like a week and a half ago on some of the product, but it's not significant to the point where it's going to make somebody say, I'm never paying for that again. I'm not going back there. So there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. It's not just the lights and, you know, the alcohol and the DJ. There's a lot behind it that a lot of people aren't aware of.
Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't have even thought. I mean,
and that's a small one. That's a small part.
Right. Yeah. And like, I know like the fire department, the police, but when you put it all together, it's like, wow, that is a lot.
It's a lot, you know. And then, you know, we have an elevator. You know, it's funny, but we have we're in a historic building, and the elevator is old and dated, and, you know, is broken. Well, our vendors, you know, the majority of our distributors were bringing the product up the elevator and putting it in the liquor room or the kitchen. Well, it's been broken since August, and they're like, we're not taking it up the stairs. You know, it's against our union policy. So then I would have to, you know, farm out certain employees. Hey, can you go down there? And the biggest challenge, and I look back at it now and it's funny, but it's not, because it's just added stress.
Right.
One vendor delivers on Tuesday, one delivers on Thursday, one delivers on Friday. So my payroll probably increased about $2,500 a month since August just to pay people to go down there and wait for the stuff. So there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that people aren't aware of that can add up. It's like the Jenga, right? You pull one piece out, something's gonna crumble.
I was literally I was like, or like Tetris.
Or
You know,
Tetris,
where can
yeah.
we put this? And you know, being a business owner, you just have to do it. You can't moan and bitch about it. You just gotta do it.
I mean, there's times where I'm driving, from school, and then we need food, kitchen products. So I'm going to Restaurant Depot, loading up my car. My wife's doing it, and it's not fun.
Right.
But it's got to get done.
Right.
Because the customers don't care. Hey, I want my chicken wings. I want this. I want my fries.
Still
or
hungry.
zucchini sticks have taken off the charts. I mean, everybody's ordering zucchini
Oh,
sticks. Yeah.
I love zucchini sticks.
Yeah, you got to come try them.
Oh yeah. Okay. I might have to go after this, y'all. I'm hungry. What have been some of the toughest situations you've had to deal with while running the nightclub? Did I already ask that?
No, but I think the toughest one for me was, like I said, when I was diagnosed with the thyroid cancer, because I was out of the game for 3 months. They removed my thyroid and I couldn't talk for a while. So my wife was down there, and seeing her come home tired, she would go to work, and mind you, I said she wakes up at 3 or 4. I mean, sometimes she wouldn't sleep because she's just an early riser. She would go down there, go to work, and then go to the bar and be there by herself and, well, not by herself, but, without me.
Yes.
On a Friday and Saturday, and then have to come home, take a shower, and then wake up, repeat. That didn't sit too well with me, but physically there was nothing I can do.
Right.
That was probably the most challenging piece.
Yeah.
That was probably the most challenging piece. Outside of the physical structure, I wish we had better parking, because I get people complaining about the parking.
Yeah.
I think we got like 20 parking spaces in the back. But those two things have probably been the most challenging for me.
That makes sense. Yeah, sorry guys. There's nothing he can do about the parking.
Nothing we can do about the parking, guys. Sorry.
He tries everything else to meet everybody halfway, but the parking,
And you know what's funny is right across the street from Blue Q, there used to be an old Marie Callender's or Coco's or something, and the parking lot was overgrown with weeds and trees, and I kept telling myself, you know what, I'm gonna find out who owns that, because I want to make that a parking. Not a parking structure, but a paid parking lot. And then after, I think about 4 months ago, somebody went there and purchased it and leveled it and made it a parking space. But the problem is they close it at 10 o'clock. So for everybody who's, traveling, I mean, because right there on 28th and J, there's significant nightlife there. I mean, you got 3 or 4 bars that can use the parking, but they close it at 10. So people are still parking like a mile away. And
That's so silly.
yeah, it's crazy. And then all the riffraff happens, right in front of our place and down the street. So then, you'd rather it be local so the security can maintain it, but try to help the police out. But it hasn't happened yet.
Maybe you could talk to them and
partner up.
Yeah, that would
hey,
be
I'm with
great. Hey, hopefully they're business people and want to make a couple more dollars.
Absolutely.
I mean,
my
that's
God, they'd kill it.
amazing. Yeah.
They'd kill it. Charge $20 for parking if they want to. I mean, people would pay it.
And again, security's going to be there, so it's going to be monitored.
Yeah.
You know,
Down in LA, they used to do that. They would have these parking structures, and they would, they'd have patrol inside the parking thing, and somebody would pay like $20, or you could pay $25 or $30 and get your car washed while it's there.
Ooh,
I mean,
I like that.
How crazy would that be? You go into a bar and go in, your car's dirty, come out, car's spot clean.
I would be so happy.
Yeah.
I'd be like, am I that drunk? My car's hella clean.
Patron just cleaned my car.
Shit.
That's
I'm
a
going to
good
the
wax.
club every weekend.
Absolutely.
Yes. I love that.
Go
Y'all
to
don't
Blue
take
Q,
it.
We wash your car.
Right?
Yeah.
That's his. On the flip side, what are some of the most rewarding moments you've experienced?
Meeting people. Meeting new people. Moving from we don't have any family here. We came up here, not knowing anyone. But it kind of was a twofer, because my kids were going to school in Idaho. My wife is from Idaho. And I wanted to get away from the desert. We kind of, palm trees and all that stuff. I lived there all my life.
Right.
I told her, I said, I need a change of scenery, and I'm going, and my oldest son was, I think he was a senior at Boise State University when we moved up. And then my daughter was just graduated high school when we moved up, and she got accepted to U of I, where she's in pre-med. So, yeah.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
That's great. How do you balance the business side with the social entertainment side of nightlife?
That's the hard part, because I think, in any business that anyone does, you have to keep, you have to have a fine line. You got to tell people you got a fine line, you got a fence, you got business on one side and you got personal on the other. And a lot of times that social life can become personal. And that's what I tell all the staff, try to keep it professional, because if it becomes personal, it can ruin your your future, you know, and that's with anything in life. And, you know, meeting celebrities just last night. I wasn't there last night, but, you know, we had Eric Bellinger and Too Short was there. I didn't even know Too Short was coming, but
Did they perform?
I'm not sure if Too Short did, but Eric Bellinger did.
And so that you guys planned to have him perform, or he just
Yeah.
Oh,
It was the
yeah.
after party because they had I think he performed at Sac State, so they did the after party at Blue Q. And we'll do that every once in a while. Tay, one of our promoters, we had Ray J there last Sunday.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Wait, did he do good?
Yeah, he did good.
he-
Yeah, he was doing his, he was doing his thing.
Was his hat? Did the hat keep falling? Did y'all see when the hat was falling on Love and Hip Hop? His hat was moving around his head. He
All
was
over the
just-
place.
Yeah.
Like, he had it glued on. I mean, it wasn't moving.
Oh, good. I love
We had
that.
Stephen G a couple weeks ago, and I mean, it was sold out. We got a couple artists booked for the next couple weeks.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to check out your guys' Instagram.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, because you put it on there.
Yeah, it's on there.
Okay, yeah.
You know, we have an artist coming out next Friday. He's part of the SOB group. We had Slimmy B from SOB a couple weeks back. And then a lot of it, you know, we book these artists or we book events, and this rainstorm will come from, like, when it rains up here, man, it rains. I mean, it's not, I mean, SoCal, you might see a raindrop every 6 months. Here, man, it's like 4 months and it doesn't stop.
It's crazy. Yeah.
So that plays a lot in it too.
So you do see a difference in how many people come when it is raining?
100%.
Oh, I see.
I mean, you know, Saturdays by far is probably our most consistent busy night. Last Saturday it rained, and it was probably our deadest night of the week.
Oh, wow.
You know?
All right.
It just, you know, I mean, people and girls get their hair done. They don't want to get it messed up with the rain. So, and it goes back to the whole parking thing. Nobody wants to park a mile away and then have to walk.
Yeah, for
you know,
sure.
and get drenched and then come in. It's just
It's
not a fun environment.
I do think the parking lot would change the rainy days.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
I forgot about the walking.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't even mind about getting my hair wet, but I'm not doing that.
Right.
If my outfit's gonna be wet before I get in there, I
it
can't.
just ruins your night.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Nope.
Not at all.
What separates Blue Q from other nightclubs in Sacramento?
I think there's a two answer part to that. I think, again, it goes back to what I was saying about the longevity. And I think when people think of Blue Q, they think 100% urban. We are, for all intents and purposes, probably one of the only 6 day a week African American, you know, locations where people can go. You go on Tuesday, it's Taco Tuesday, but it's got hip hop and R&B. Wednesday's a line dancing, and it's led by African American. I mean, it is, but everyone's welcome. I mean, it's not like, you know, we cater to just that and you can't come in. I mean, we want everyone to come and have a good time. And actually, this last Friday was probably the first time since I've been there that we've seen a big, diverse crowd.
Oh, I
mean,
love
and it
that.
was a younger crowd, and that's kind of what we're gearing towards for that Friday. Because Saturday, Thursday, and Tuesday are almost one and the same, and Friday and Sunday are kind of gearing more, you know, trying to get that younger crowd.
That
in.
younger.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I love it. Yeah. I'm so excited to check it out. I'm sure I'm gonna be blown away when I see it. I'm excited. What advice would you give to someone who wants to start their own business or get into the nightclub industry?
I always say, don't just, like, you know, because I think the biggest mistake that people make is they come across some sort of money and they think the nightlife business or nightclub is fun. You know, they think there's some glamour behind it. They think that's going to put them on an upper pedestal, and it doesn't always work out that way. You know, I would say 85% of all nightclubs or bars that start out fail within the first year. And there's been some struggles with us. You know, I mean, when we first bought the place, the occupancy was 123, and then we paid like $80,000 to change a couple things to get it raised up, and then the city raised it, and then they lowered it. Said there was an error made, so then we had to go back and pay like an additional $20,000 to add some sprinklers in or something. And that whole time for 11 months, our occupancy was lowered to 100 when we bought it, it was 123.
Wow.
So, you know, we suffered for a long time, and those are just some of the things that you don't prepare for, you know, you don't plan for.
Well, and as a business owner, 23 people, that's a lot of money that you're missing out on.
I mean, that's a difference of probably $8,000 to $1,000 a night.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, but now the occupancy is 276.
Good. Wow.
So, you know, my advice is know what you're getting into. Don't just do it because you think it sounds good or it looks good or you had fun at a club and, hey, I want to do that when I get older. It's not always fun.
Yeah.
You know, there's always a lot of hoops you're going to have to go through. And in California, everything is sky high anyway. I mean, from taxes to insurance to everything. I mean, you can go open up a bar probably in New Mexico and probably for $25,000, you know, and and save some money, you know. But here it's just quadruple, you know. And it's
Your first step is $25,000.
yeah, your first step is $25,000, you know.
Yeah.
But I always tell people, you know, because kids ask me, even my kids at the school, you know, like,
I like that.
they're always, you know, there's a couple kids that ask me about real estate all the time, and so I'm a teacher and try to be a mentor to them. You know, you're still young, you know, just take your time and see what you want to do.
You're very intelligent.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. What's next for you? Any upcoming moves, expansions, or things you want people to tap in with?
You know what, there's, you know, we thought about at one point maybe doing something in the Roseville area. You know, Antelope doesn't really have much going on, so we tried to think, you know, we thought about at some point, what can we do out there that's a little bit more urban? There's nothing out there. You know, there's a couple bars that may play some, I don't know, TLC, but that's about it. But,
Yeah.
you know, but there's nothing for people to go to, and those individuals don't always want to come to SAC.
Right.
So we thought about that, and, you know, it's still in the early stages. Nothing is concrete or solidified, and at some point, you know, retirement's around the corner, you know, whether, you know, we you know, bring on a partner and they take over the bar, or we're not quite ready to sell yet, or get out of it yet.
No.
But at some point, probably within the next 5 years or so, it's just time to pass the torch or give it to one of the kids, say, here, you do something with it.
Do you think one of your kids would have the same drive? Do you think any of them want it?
You know what's crazy is we thought that, and we got 3 kids, and my oldest is a Placer County sheriff. So he can't. You know, they have these crazy rules where you can't own a bar or a nightclub or something like that, which is crazy.
That's not. I
yeah.
don't like that.
Yeah, it's weird. And my middle son, he's the one that's expecting a child, and we tried to get him to come down and help, try to make him a manager, and I just don't know if that's something that he wants to do. My daughter, she's kind of like, you know, the pesky one. You know, she's always like, I want to do it. And then when she comes in town from school, we take her down there, and she worked a New Year's Eve party with us 2 years ago, and she enjoyed it. But then I ask her now, do you still want it? And she's like, I don't know. You know, I think it's just too much.
Yeah,
it's a lot to take on.
It is a lot, yeah. I would say, because when you were saying, you know, retirement, 5 years, my brain kept saying Sacramento needs you. You know?
Well, and it's not just like getting away from it. It's just, I mean, coaching football for 35, like I haven't taken a year off of coaching football, and it's a lot. And high school football is different because it's year round. You know, I mean, you don't have any time off. I mean, even when the season's over, you're preparing for the next season. You're fundraising, and
you're mentoring these kids.
Yeah, you know, I mean, and it's a lot, and I enjoy that. Right. I mean, if I can coach until I'm 90, I would. You know, but there's just, you know, this particular season that just finished, it was a lot because I had surgery in March. I was back out there in April, and the doctor was like, "Don't do it. It's gonna," you know, and then it zapped me. I mean, the first week I was out at practice, I mean, I was just sitting on that bench. I'm just like, I can't do it. You know, I can feel the difference.
Right.
I'm not gonna tell the kids that.
Right.
You know, and I just, you know, thug through it and finished out the year. And I stepped down in November, but I'm still on campus with the kids. Good. And, you know, not to say that I'll, you know, be away from football forever, but at some point I need to start thinking about me.
Yes.
And, you know, I mentioned to you earlier before we got on is that we're going on a cruise, and the first vacation in 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Because it's just been focused on Blue Q, football, and other things. And I told my wife, no, we're going.
Good for you. You deserve it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
As much as you give to the community, don't forget to give back to yourself as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I'm going to have you look at that camera and maybe let them know about certain specific nights at Blue Q where they could come and hang out and what the nights are.
Well, if you want a chill vibe, I would definitely say come check out Wednesday. Wednesday is the line dancing, and it's Nights in the Valley does a phenomenal job with teaching, and it's fun. It's a cool little vibe. If you want to pick up the pace a little bit, Tuesday, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and don't forget Sunday. Sunday Fun Day is starting to pick up, and they got a young gentleman there today. He's an artist named Kai Bands that's performing, so that's where I'm heading next to see what this little young whippersnapper is all about.
Let's go. Yay. All right, y'all, we're out. Yee.
This brother from Detroit.